We're ready to move on now to the final build, final assembly. And where we left off, we had put the lights into the bottom of the base, and we secured the plug. And we didn't glue this down yet because we still need to run the wires from the ship. So I think what we can do now is we can prepare this, where I'm going to make a little channel over there just to bring it a little bit closer to the point. Because the way the model, move this a bit, the model is, the hole is a little bit closer, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to yeah, just like that, just a little bit. And you'll see why I did that in a moment. Because of the wires that have been coming out from the bottom of the ship. Speaking of which, we've got the area right here. Why don't we go ahead and we can start taking off the tape. Alright, so this might not be long enough. I might have to attach a couple of wires to jump it to the power source. But what I was telling you guys, this hole right here, why don't we go ahead and try to line it up now? It's tough because the wires are still glued. We get the section that's attached to the base, so we got to be very careful now when we put the ship on. So, first thing I want to do is I want to put the wires into the top, like that. And I want to make sure that this doesn't fall, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of put that to the side. And let's see. The ship is going to go just like that. Because you can, hopefully you can see that. See this little area, that line? It's going to go just like that. And that's how she's going to mount to the base. So what I think might happen is we might have to put jumpers to that. I didn't really want to have to do that, but the wires aren't long enough. I had wire that was pretty long inside of the ship, but I guess what happened is that they must have got tangled up, and I sure am not going to yank on it now. So what I think I'm going to do is, let's see if this is long enough where we can run it through to the ship and tuck those big wires back in to the hull. So let's get these ready. Alright, so this is going to go down in that area, grab the feed, and hopefully it's going to be long enough where we can put it up into the ship. So let me take the ship off so nothing happens, because we know now that everything will be all set. And what we're going to do is we're going to work on this section. You know what? We're going to actually go ahead and we're going to solder this right now to keep it positive. And we'll do the negative. Let's get our solder, and we got to get our flux, because remember, nothing will stick without the flux. We don't have to put a ton on here, just enough to keep everything nice and secure. Get some flux, and we'll put just a bit on. There. That way there, the melted solder has something to go down and attach to. Maybe just a bit over there, a little bit more. Okay. So that is pretty secure. What I want to do is I want to put just a little tiny little piece of the tape, just in the event that they should touch. So we don't want them making contact. And let's cut the tops off that. And what we're going to do is we're going to run it up into the arm and eventually to the base of the ship. So let's put the solder iron aside. Wow, I didn't expect that to. Look how easy that went through. Okay, so what we have now and I thought about different ways to try to hide the wire. I just, there's no way to hide it. Again, when it's lit, hopefully the glare from the lights will kind of hide the fact that there are wires in there. That tape, try to put it like that a little bit, just to kind of bring it down. Maybe I should tape that area just to make it look a little bit neater. Let's do that. Like I said, I want it to look just a little bit neater. So we still have the wire coming down, but it looks a little bit neater. So what we can actually do now is we can go ahead and we can seal the base. So what I'm going to do is we're going to glue the base, and then we're going to actually clamp it so that everything stays nice and snug. You don't want the gaps. So I'm going to use the super glue because I was wondering what I was going to use, but we'll use the super glue. Should just hold everything just enough so we can clamp all the corners. All right, so now what we can do is we can start the gluing and the clamping. So I think what I want to do is I want to put the glue on the base, on the bottom itself. So we'll run the glue along. Again, we don't need a ton of it. Now let's get everything lined up, just so we can clamp it. And finally we'll do this side. Maybe we'll put just a drop over there. All right, so you can see everything hopefully will be nice and secure. Okay, so now why don't we go ahead and we can think about putting the ship on now, because the clamps will keep everything secure, and we're going to super glue the ship on as well. But what we got to do is we got to get the wires ready. So let's go ahead and prep the wires. And what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to attach these, and we're going to want to solder them so it's nice and solid. I don't see anything. All right, so we have the positive, and let's do the negative. So let's put a little bit of the flux. Again, doesn't have to be a whole lot. There we are. And what we're going to do is we're going to tape those in place so we can put them back up inside the ship. Just like that, and we're going to tuck this up into the ship. Again, we don't want none of that touching. Right? So hopefully you guys will be able to see that. And what I want to do now is I want to tuck all these wires back up into the ship. So let me show you guys. Let me bring it over to there. Just to be able to get these out of the way. All right, so this is back in. And we're really screwed if that doesn't work because we got all of them in the wires into the ship now. So all right, so we have all the wires into the ship now. So what we can go ahead and do is I'm going to put some super glue onto the arm that's going to support the ship, and a little drop at the front. And we're going to just like that. We're really going to have to reinforce that too with some glue to the side. Once the glue starts to set, we can tuck that extra bit of wire back up inside the ship. We're going to get a lot of this stuff out of the way so we can let the ship dry. Let's move that. All right, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to leave this for a while. And we're going to let it dry. Let me show you guys. We got it glued to the stand onto the arm. And I'm going to have to put some reinforcing glue in there, but I want to let it dry first. So we'll give it about an hour, and then we'll finish it off. All right, so I had a little bit of time to dry. I had a little more than an hour. And what I think I want to do right now is there's a couple of small details that they have on the studio model that I want to put onto this model. Up on the impulse deck, they have a tiny little, looks like a yellow light. Well, it's yellow and it's rectangle, but I think it signifies a light. And it's going to go right over there. So I just want to put a little tiny line, just to signify that there's the light over there. And put the same thing on this side. Just like that. All right, another little thing that they have on the studio model is that, let me show you guys, right? Might be easier to put it from the port side. Right along here, this section right there is actually silver. And then they have a red light on this long piece and then just above it. So we go ahead and we'll put that silver. And I don't know if you guys are aware of this or not, but the beauty of using testers are the same company that makes Rust-Oleum, or vice versa. Rust-Oleum makes testers. So the paints are nice and compatible, the oil-based paints. So let's get a little bit of yeah, just like that. There, that looks pretty good. All right, let's do the same thing for the starboard side. There. Just like that. All right, that's all set. All right, let's try the red. Just ever so slightly, just on the over there, and on top, just so you know that something is there, and right about on top. Just so you know that there's lights there. According to the studio model. Okay, so that is the detail that I wanted to address once it was on the base. Kind of like, you know, those last minute things. All right, let's take the goggles off. And we can see if we can unclamp the base and the front. All right, let's get rid of all the stuff now and get rid of the clamps. So I think what I want to do is, first of all, we can try to tuck the rest of the wires up inside the ship. Where are my tweezers? All right. Yeah, that looks a little neater. You can see the sections with the little lights. I think what I want to do is I want to put some reinforcing shots of blue underneath. And some of the glue, unfortunately, had ran on the side. All right. So what do you guys think? Of course, we have the ultimate test. We got to make sure this works. Where's the plug? There it is. Okay, keep your fingers crossed. So the way we did it, we turn it around and we plug it in, and let's see. Beautiful. Look at that. This monitor is a real pain in the butt. All right, what do you guys think? Check that out. Let's see, we gotta make sure the lights are working in the ship. And they are. And let's see. So, what do you think? Is it too much light on the bottom? I think it looks pretty cool. That ominous look. Nice. So, that is my version of the studio model. Again, this is the one that's in Seattle, not the one at the Smithsonian. You can see the ship. I love the color scheme. I love this color. This is the type of color that I really like, but you just don't get a chance to use it very often. You can see the detail, and as we go along, I'll put pictures of the studio model up, and we'll compare. I was going to put the sealer on the entire model, but I only have the gloss. I don't have the matte. I do have the matte, but it's industrial, and I'm afraid that if I put that on, it's going to melt the decals and some of the little detail work that we had done. So the paint, I know the paint's not going anywhere. The paint is very durable, and we had put the micro sol, the micro set onto the decals, and the decals look pretty good. Maybe at some point I brush on some of the sealant, but I think it looks pretty good. And all in all, I think she came out pretty nice. Kapla. Again, I like that color scheme. We got the lights up inside. There's no light leak. Everything looks pretty cool. We put in 2 lights, and we put them in underneath the bridge area. I thought about lighting the secondary hull, or the engineering hull, because this would have looked great lit up. You guys can see we have the reflective backing. So I think that looks cool. That looks good. And I love the fact that the base was clear, transparent. I don't know if they're all transparent, but I thought it was awesome to be able to light the ship. You can see the front under the bridge area, the officers' quarters. Going back, you can see the impulse deck. You can see coming down to the power unit and the cells. And again, there's a lot of mistakes that I make, and that's the beauty. You can watch my videos and I show you what not to do. So we got a pretty cool looking light coming up from the bottom. I wanted to honor the kit, so I kept the switch, and I made it like a time capsule. I put all the other parts that I didn't use, as well as all the lights, inside the secondary hull of the ship. I think that looks pretty cool. I wish I had one of those rotating tables to put like the model on and have it spin around for you. But let me go ahead, I'll take you off the tripod and I'll show you the model. And I'll do a finished model video. So I'll do a one final video on this series, wrapping it up. And we'll do some fun with the green screen and make it look like she's flying. And what I want to do is I want to try to recreate one of the pictures of the ominous ship with that kind of a color on the bottom. Just here, general core, General Kang, or Commander Kang actually, and Commander Kodos, or Koloff, I'm sorry, from the Trouble Tribbles, or pick your favorite Klingon captain. Insert his voice into the ship. So let me. I have to be. Let's come back around and show you guys the front again. I like plugging it in so much better than the batteries, because the batteries never seem to last, especially with the LED tape, because you can see how bright that is. And I'm glad that it's not taking away from the lights that we put in. Just like the studio model, we got the red lights on top with the gold kind of outline. And again, that's my mistake. The green light, that's from the Smithsonian. I got the two mixed up, so that shouldn't be there. Well, my friends, this concludes the build series. And this is the 1968 AMT Klingon Alien Battle Cruiser. I hope you enjoyed this build, and I hope you had as much fun watching as I had making it. So until my next video, like I said, we're going to wrap it up. I'll do one more video with this. We'll have some fun with green screen, and I'll show off the model. So my friends, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.